Alright, what we're going to do today, we're going to remove a door panel on a 2010 Toyota Corolla LE. I've seen a lot of videos on how to do this. A lot of these videos, the guys go through it really quickly. I'm going to go step by step. I'm going to try to be fast, but I'm going to try to be efficient at the same time. That way you guys get each individual step down. That way you can get this done correctly. So the first thing I want to tell you, you have two Phillips head screws that have to be removed. A couple of wiring harnesses, no problem there. A main door harness, and I know there's one for the controls here. So first, let's take a look at where the two Phillips head screws are going to be located. Look down here in the handle. There's a little round tab, and that swings up kind of like a hinge. Underneath it reveals the head of a Phillips head screw, basically. So that's going to be one. And I'll use a small screwdriver to pry that up here shortly. The second one is going to be behind the door handle, and it's this oval piece right here. And I'm going to get behind that, pry it outward, and it's going to reveal another Phillips head screw that we need to remove. So those are the first two steps. So I'm going to get to that. Okay, this is the little tab that I was mentioning. There's your Phillips head screw. And here is that oval piece that popped off very easily. And you take your door handle, pull it back, and it reveals the second screw that I was mentioning. So let's go ahead and take a Phillips and pull those out. Alright, I have this Phillips head screw out. And if you have a magnetic bit, that would be helpful on this one. This one here was very easily taken out. One thing that I want to mention, and a lot of guys doing these door panel removal videos, they're really bad about mentioning there's different types of ways that these door panels go on. Take a Ford Mustang, for example. A lot of those, they don't pop off. They actually, once you remove all your screws, things that are holding it on, it goes on and hooks. It actually hooks on big plastic pieces on the back side of the panel that actually hook on to these metal bars that are made onto the inner door frame. So the panel actually hooks on. It does not pull off. This one is a pull-off type. So that's just some information there. The next step that we want to do, this panel right here has to come up and off. So you can use a body puller. What I'm going to use today, and I know a lot of guys are going to frown on it, but if you're extremely careful, it's perfectly fine. I like to do it because it's very thin. A lot of guys don't like using metal, but I'm going to use this right here, paint scraper, and I'm going to get up under this, try to get up underneath the inside, and this panel, control panel, just pull straight up and off. So just be extremely careful. I'm going to try to get up under this edge. It seems to be the loosest area. I'm going to try to get up under it and just work it on up. Alright guys, even better, I did not even have to pry. I was able to just simply lift up this back corner and just worked my fingers around and pull straight up, and came off pretty easily. So now, as you can see, we have a wiring harness that we have to deal with. Let me get in close. As you can see, there's a looks like a little button right here. My lighting is really bad, I apologize. There's a tab right inside here. If you depress that and hold this down, it should come right on out. And this is my first time actually taking this door panel off, so we're learning this together. So rest assured, this will be the proper way of pulling this panel off. This is a beginner thing for me. I've never pulled the door panel off of this car, so we're doing it today. So I'm going to depress that with a small, very small flathead screwdriver, hold this down, and this whole wiring harness should pull off. Okay, real quick, going back to this, if you stick a small tiny screwdriver in here and kind of wiggle it back and forth, it will help shimmy this out. So it wasn't any problem at all doing it that way. Okay, now with this out of the way, we'll tuck this back down in here. All right, next step, last step before we attempt to pull the panel off is where your tweeter would be. This triangular piece just simply pulls straight off, and I do not think there's a screw back behind here of any kind. There's nothing that would, hold this on, so I think this just simply pops straight off. Let's get to that, and you get back behind it with a tool, a pry or something, and pull that piece off. Shouldn't be a problem. All right, let's take a look. Okay, easy peasy, just popped right off. Got behind it with the metal tool that I have and popped it right on off. No problem, didn't scar it up. These come off really easy. These guys on these videos make it seem like you got to pull really hard. You really don't. You get back behind and just gently pull, and they'll come on off. I mean, as you can see, there's just one plastic grommet, I guess you would call it, and easy. So now that we have that off, what I'm going to do is attempt to get back behind this edge coming down first of all, maybe along the bottom edge, and gently start working across the bottom, and I'm going to start to pull this panel off. We have all of our screws out, so we can go ahead and start trying to pull. And beginning, I can tell you that you have a little bit of a gap on the inside. Okay, and that's where you want to get first, and just start pulling. And you see how easy that was? I mean, you could hear it with one hand. See how loose it is? And the whole thing is just gonna pop right off. So just gently work your way all the way around, and it's just gonna pull straight up and off. Okay, we have one small little issue here. We look back behind the door panel. The got a link going to the door handle, so apparently this pops out some sort of way, and you can see a tab right there, peach colored tab. This whole assembly, and I'll explain it here shortly how it works. It's obviously going to slide from this side through and out the back. Wish I had a cameraman. But I will fully explain it here shortly. It's got to be easy. We'll figure this out. Okay. So, I don't know why okay, here we go. These two tabs right here, it just basically pops in there. Okay? You got a little plastic divot right here and another one on the other side, and you just basically pop it out and slide it on through. Not a problem. Very easy. Just be careful not to break, especially these two tabs right here. And just pop up in here. So that's the door panel. And we'll set that aside. All right. And if you'd like, you can stay tuned and watch my video on what I'm really getting at today is these speakers. And as you can see on this Toyota Corolla, there's no screws. They used rivets of all things. Now I see a lot of guys going back with silicone. I'm not a big fan of the silicone. That, to me, that's not the true way to mount a speaker. I want to use screws. And a lot of guys are afraid of going through the door panel. I'm going to be very careful in drilling these out. And once I get this speaker out, I'm going to look back behind, see what I have, make sure I'm not going to hit anything, And I'm going to try to mount either some fasteners here for some new screws, or try to drill directly into the panel. If there's nothing back behind it, that will be hit. So you can stay tuned for that video if you like. All right, gonna put some Pioneer 6.5s in here, 3-way speakers. Should sound pretty good in this car. Thank you guys for watching on how to remove the door panel. This is Righteous Redneck, and as always, subscribe, comment, like, subscribe. Appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching.